everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a full face of Mel's favorites. Today is the year anniversary of the day that she went to heaven, and this year has been extremely rough and hard without her. I miss her every day. I wanted us to do a celebration of her and what she meant to us and what she meant to this community, and I never want us to forget her. She was a beautiful bright star in this community, and she gave so much love to her followers. She gave so much love to fellow creators. I got to know Mel on a personal level, and I'm so grateful for that friendship. I miss her so much, and there's so many things that has happened this year that I've wanted to pick up the phone and Marco Polo her and tell her, and you know, but I feel her presence with us. I keep in contact with her mom quite frequently, and her mom is just as beautiful as Mel. Knowing her mom, I know now why Mel was so special, because her mom is just truly the most special human, and she's been through a lot this year. So please keep her mom in your prayers, because she's truly went through a lot. Her children, I mean, can you imagine the pain that her children has been through? Her husband, like all of the friends and all of her close friends that knew her so well. This has been a very hard year for them. So I wanted this video to be about celebrating her and what she meant to this community. This video is in collaboration with Jena Phrase. So I knew of Jena prior to Mel's passing. I knew of her. I'd seen her videos. I've always just thought she was so intelligent and so smart and so beautiful. And Mel told me that her and Jena were good friends, but Jena and I never really connected. Not only does YouTube give me so much love when it comes to creating content and my relationship with my viewers, and I absolutely love that, but it's also given me some of the bestest friends I've ever had. One of my very first friends was Teresa from Teresa's Dead. She's still one of my dearest friends. I love her. And we've been on this journey pretty much together since the beginning. And the next close relationship that I gained was with Mel. Mel was one of those people that was so inspiring to me, and I was almost starstruck, almost. But as we got to know each other, I saw her for Melissa and not Mel Thompson. And it was almost like I had been given a gift, because she was such a beautiful human. When she tragically passed away, Jena and I became such close friends that we pretty much talk on Marco Polo almost every day. It's kind of ridiculous, but like we truly kind of connected on a deeper level, and I am forever grateful that Mel brought her into my life, because I think Mel, like Jena and I have laughed about that before, that Mel probably had a hand in us becoming friends so that we could have each other to lean on through the loss, because we know that Mel is thriving in heaven. And I know she's looking down, and so happy that we've became friends and that we've been able to be there for each other. But so it was only fitting for Jena and I to collaborate on this video. And if you guys don't know Jena Phrase, seriously, I call her the smartest friend I have. Like, she is the smartest girl. That girl is smart. Anyway, because I have like these Tara, we call it the Tara moments, but I have these like super ditzy Tara moments that are somewhat ridiculous, you guys. I'm just not the brightest star in the sky, and I admit it, right? So it's refreshing to have super smart friends. Anyway, but we thought it would be fun to collaborate together and share our love for Mel and go through all of the makeup that we know Mel loved and do a full face. I don't know what products she chose of Mel's favorites, because we know Mel had a lot of favorites, right? So I don't know what she chose. She don't know what I chose, which makes it even better. I'm so excited to check out her video, but I will leave her channel in the description box down below. You guys definitely have to check out Jena Phrase. She is so, like I said, so smart, so beautiful. She does such an amazing job on reviews. That girl knows her stuff. She is amazing. If you guys haven't checked her channel out, she's amazing. Anyway, it's just going to be lighthearted and fun. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. I watched many videos last night, and it's been a while since I have been really able to watch her videos. It reminded me of just how knowledgeable she was. For many of us here that are content creators, Either we just really love makeup, we're just makeup enthusiasts, or there are plenty of people out there that are true makeup artists. Mel not only loved makeup, but it was a part of who she was. She was so knowledgeable. And I recommend going through some of her old videos because I learned so much just by going through, trying to find which products I was going to choose to, you know, put in this video. And I was reminded of just how knowledgeable her information is. Even though most of the videos that I watched, I've already seen them when they first launched, when she first put them up. But watching them over again, she was so incredibly talented and just had so much information. I highly, highly recommend going through some of her videos. Let's go ahead and jump in to this video. So we are going to start with this primer from MAC. This is a Skin Refined Zone Treatment, like a pore refiner. And you only need the smallest amount of this. This definitely fills in the pores. And we all know that Mel always had that flawless makeup application. A lot of that had to do with not only her techniques, right? But it's the way that she layered her makeup, and each step was strategic and done for a reason. That is the reason why her makeup always looked so beautiful. We're gonna jump into foundation. Now, here's the thing. I thought for sure that I had her favorite foundation. The one I'm thinking of is the Tarte Face Tape foundation, I think. I can't find it anywhere. And it's so funny too, you guys, because I have this one from Tarte. I haven't used it yet. This is the Shape Tape Cloud Coverage. So the next best option that I got is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. She was absolutely in love with this. And I remember her saying that she was so mad because it was so expensive. But it is a really beautiful foundation. It is. So we're going to use that today. I'm going to use this in the shade 7.2 Sepia. And I'm going to use the Sonia G Jumbo Base to blend this in. It's a little dark though. Hopefully we can get... Oh, I didn't realize it was going to be that dark. That is so dark. Why is that so dark? Plus my fake tan is coming off. I need to scrub off my fake tan. I'm trying to make it last for as long as I can because we're getting ready to go to Vegas. And I want to do my fake tan like right before we leave. So, yeah, I'm going to Vegas to spend the weekend with my kids and I'm so excited. Okay, we're gonna try this again and my fake tan is really coming off my neck, you guys. So that foundation is not gonna work. I need to go ahead and put my Prep and Prime back on from MAC. The only thing that I have besides this that is crazy dark for me is this from Dior. So I'm gonna use this from Dior. This is the Forever Natural Nude. This is not my favorite foundation from Dior, but I'm gonna give it a try again, see if my opinions change. This shade is a little bit better than that other one, right? Oh my gosh. That other one was so dark. Like, there's just no way I can wear that shade. It's just, I definitely need to put it on my Poshmark account and sell it because it's too expensive to just have it sitting in my collection, knowing that I'll never be able to wear that shade. I wear that shade in the stick foundation, the Traceless stick, but that dang, that shade's dark. I don't know what the deal was, you guys, but it was way too dark. I think if I remember right, this one doesn't wear the best on me, but it looks beautiful, right? Like upon first application, it looks stunning. Okay, we're gonna now move on to brows, and I have to talk about this brow gel because I was introduced to this brow gel from Mel probably a year before I became friends with her. This is the best brow gel. It keeps the brows locked and loaded. None of them compare. It is fabulous. Many of us are not as gifted in the brow department as Mel was. I mean, let's be clear. She had the best brows. Gorgeous brows, right? Gorgeous brows, gorgeous lashes, just the whole 9 yards. She was just a beauty. But I always trusted her recommendation when it came to brows because I knew she knew what she was talking about. Those brows were everything. So she liked to apply it like this and run it through, and then going like this and kind of running it this way so that it coats every hair. And then you go down one more time and then kind of fine tune it from there. And then you let that dry before you go in with whatever you're going to use. She used that so that she knew where she was going to start from. So this is her brow, right? And then she just filled in from there. It is a great technique when it comes to applying your brows, but the trick is this product has to be dry before you go in with anything. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. That's the one that she used a lot. This one is like a sample one that I have. This one is in the shade Soft Brown. I'm going to now go in and just start kind of filling in these areas. So brows are done. They're not my best, but we're moving on. Oh, Tara Lynn, your brows are never the best. What are you talking about? We're gonna move on to the eyes. And of course, I gotta use the Tiny Marvels palette. I've used this several times on camera. I have created several looks with it. It's a beautiful palette. And of course, it's just Mel, right? It just screams Mel and it's gorgeous. But I thought it would be fun to pair this with another one of her favorites because this is kind of a given, right? Like this palette, of course, is going to be a part of the video because it's her palette. It's the palette she created with Sydney Grace. So I decided to pair it with the Star Aura palette. I remember her loving this palette from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to go into the Star Aura palette first. I think I might go into this one first and then maybe put this one on top. So we're going to go into this one. I'm going to grab this shade too. It's more of a little bit of a taupey shade. And I'm wondering how those two shades would look mixed together. I'm now going to go into the darker shade right here. And then I'm going to grab some of the mattes from the Tiny Marvels palette. So I'm going to put that like right out here. I'm going to first grab Tree Hopper, which is a nice, just kind of transition shade, and I'm gonna place that like right there on the crease. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit of Flutterby, that pretty salmon like pink color, kind of bring some pink into the crease. Now I'm gonna go into Death Moth, and I'm gonna put that right here on the outer corner, just kind of creating a little bit of that depth. I'm going to go into this bright shade right here with a flat definer from Sonia G, and I'm going to place this right here on the center and kind of make that center lid pop. Okay, we're going to try this one. So I've had this in my collection and never used it. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. And I've picked this up in 40 Neutral Yellow. I don't know, it just says 40 NY, so I'm assuming that's what it stands for. The applicator is quite interesting. See how it's got that curve? I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of cool the way it's tipped like that. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to pull out her favorite concealer brush. So this one is the mini base from the Coyote. What set was this from? I'll put it here on the screen. Can't remember, but I remember her saying that she loved this to blend in concealer. And so I'm excited to try it. I don't think I've ever used this to blend in concealer. So we're going to do that today. So I'm going to put a little bit right here. Ooh, that shade might be a little bit too light. We'll make it work. Gosh, that shade's light for being 40. Okay, this brush does do a good job. You can see why she likes this brush to blend in concealer, because that worked flawlessly. Mel didn't have that many under eye wrinkles. She was still fresh as a daisy. So it, you know, I can see it emphasizing, like you can see all of those wrinkles right there. You know, it's more prominent than with some of my others, but you know, it might just be, again, because the shade's too light. But with that said, we're going to move on to the lower lash line. We're going to take a stiff brush and I'm going to go into Tree Hopper. So I'm going to bring that in. See how I'm bringing it down just a little bit lower. So now I'm going to go into Flutterby. That really pretty kind of pinky peach. It's more salmon. It's a salmon matte. It's gorgeous. I'm going to take a flat tip brush. I'm going to go into Death Moth, and I might pick up a tiny bit of Spider, but Spider is way pigmented. I'm gonna stick that right here on these outer corners. I'm also gonna bring that like right here on the outer corner on the top, just to give some structure and shape. So now I've placed the product. Now I'm just gonna blend everything together. So I'm just gonna take my blending brush and kind of blend all of that out. I'm gonna go into the Star Aura palette. I'm gonna grab this shade with a blending brush and I'm gonna sweep this onto the crease, just to add more definition there on the outer corner. I always have a hard time with this eye. Like, I can do this eye so well. This eye, I don't know if it's because I cross over and I have to, like, it's not the right angle, but I have the hardest time with this eye. And they never match. Never match. We can all admit that Mel had some of the best eyeshadow looks on YouTube. She could take any palette, any colors, and she could create anything. And it was always beautiful. And even though some of the looks, I could never even attempt to create them, and they would probably not look good on me, they looked amazing on her. So she was just one of those people that makeup was, like I said, it was who she was. It was truly who she was. So what would an eye look be without a brow bone highlight? She was known for that. I'm gonna grab this light shade and I'm gonna bring this on the inner corner to kind of brighten up the eye right there. And I'm also going to use it as a brow bone highlight. So like right here. Kind of putting a little bit on and then blending it out in with your finger. Let's move on to eyeliner. I remember how much she fell madly in love with the Patrick Ta. These are the Precision Gel eyeliners. I have the brown and the black. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and use the black. I'm gonna put this up on my upper lash line just to kind of blend my Lashify with my lashes. That actually works really good. They kind of feel budge proof. Why haven't I been using them? Okay, let's move on to mascara. So her favorite lower lash line mascara is the Giga Black from MAC. It is a really good mascara. So I'm gonna put it here on the lower lash line. It doesn't transfer. I don't love it on my entire lashes, but on the lower, it's fantastic. It's one of the best. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the face. So these are the two bronzers that I heard her talk about the most. She actually hit pan on the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer and she loved it. It was like her absolute favorite, but she also loved the radiance in this one from Wayne Goss. So this is the Bronze Glow and it does have a really beautiful radiance. So I thought maybe we could use both of them. I'm gonna grab my bronzer brush and I'm gonna dip in, grab a tiny bit, tap off, and I'm gonna put some like right here. Now that I have that bronzer on, now I'm gonna go into this Radiant bronzer from Wayne Goss. Kind of brush it over. It does have a very, very soft bronze and like radiance to it. Yes, look at this. You guys, look at my fake tan. It looks so ridiculous. Maybe I should put some bronzer on it. Maybe I should. Hold on. Let me try that. It looks ridiculous. Oh well, I don't care, you guys. Those two actually work really well together. Having a little bit of that radiance, but also having that airbrushed formula from Charlotte Tilbury, it's kind of a perfect combination. I'm kind of here for it. It looks really good. Okay, so let's move on to blush and then we'll go into the powder category because we all know Mel was the queen of powder. I have to talk about this one from Chantecaille. So I first bought these liquid blushes and the liquid bronzer from Chantecaille and fell hard for them. Like, I love this blush formula. Is like to die for. It's like the best liquid blush. So I remember being on Marco with Mel and telling her just how amazing these were. And I'm like, you have to try it. You have to. Like, listen to me right now. Stop what you're doing. Jump on the website and get the liquid blush. So she did, and she was obsessed. This was the one that she told me, Lively was the one that she loved the most. So we're gonna use that along with her favorite other cream blush, which is LYS in the shade Kindness. I remember her telling me that because I love peachy blushes, she's like, Tara, you will love this color. And she was right. It is a great color. So I'm gonna apply both of them. You guys know I like to do double blush anyways, so it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna put on the shade Lively. I mean, but look at this shade though. Look how pretty it is. And I think it's actually gonna go really well with Kindness, and I've never mixed them together. Never. So this is gonna be fun. So I put it here on the back of my hand, and then I dip the brush into it like this, okay? And then apply it. See how pretty that blush is? And these you can't mess up. This formula is kind of a gelée formula. You cannot mess it up. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on right here. I'm gonna go into Kindness, tap that on. Woo, I got a lot of blush on, and I am not mad at that. Let's go into powders. We all know that Mel was like the powder queen, right? She was affectionately nicknamed that. The palette that she loved was this palette. Now this one is from Jaclyn Hill. This one is more for my skin tone. I think she had the lighter palette, if I'm not mistaken. I have used this a few times and I don't mind it. This shade is the one that I use. I'm gonna take my airbrush brush from Wayne Goss, and I'm gonna go into this shade. But I'm gonna tap off because that brush just picked up a lot. And I'm gonna use this to set the under eye. I remember her saying that it was such a soft, like finely milled powder that the way that it sets the under eye, it's actually quite good. That looks really pretty. I'm not mad at that. I remember she and I were talking about this palette, and she was like, out of all of the high priced powders that I have, I am loving that powder palette from Jaclyn Hill. And to be honest with you, that looks really pretty. It does. I've used it before. I just need to continue to use it because Mel was right. It is beautiful. It is a pretty powder. The thing about this is that Mel and I had different preferences when it came to loose powders. So I personally love the Hourglass Translucent Setting Powder, and I remember Mel saying that she liked it. Like, it is a nice powder, but she still preferred these two over that one. And these two are just not my favorite. So this is the By Terry. This is the Hydra Powder in the translucent. I have also the one in the color, I can't remember what it's called, but this powder is almost so finely milled that it settles into every fine line I have. And the powder's kind of a gross texture. And I told her that. I said, main reason I don't use the By Terry powder is because I can't stand the texture of it. It's so finely milled that it's got this weird texture to it, and I can't explain it, but it also emphasizes every fine line I have. So it's not my favorite powder. Again, we all know that Mel loved the Sicily powder. This was her absolute like ride or die favorite powder, and she'd been using it for years and years and years. So she used the lighter shade, which I think is 01 Irisy, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this comes in 4 shades. Again, I'm not sure. I bought this in 2 matte because I thought it was just going to be a little darker, but I don't know if it's more matte. So I remember her saying that Irisy was a little bit more had a little bit of radiance to it, like in the softest way. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, she told me that the 2 matte is matte, and that's probably why I didn't like it. But we're gonna use it today because it's been a while since I've used it. So I'm gonna try it. I hate the packaging, I'm just gonna say it. I've been spoiled with the Hourglass packaging because it's all condensed into that little tub, and it only gives you what you need. And these type of products are messy. They just are. And you pick up a lot. And that's what I don't like. I don't like picking up so much powder, and it's hard not to, right? And then when you tap the brush off, you make a flippin' mess. I'm just gonna go and buff all over the face. I'm not mad at this powder. It's not my favorite, but I'm not mad at this powder. I need to use it more and see how it works with other foundations. Now, if you guys have not seen Mel's video on her buffing technique, it is a must watch. I think she got the technique from Wayne Goss, if I'm not mistaken. I think she tweaked it to kind of fit her preferences. That video has a wealth of information when it comes to powders and how to use them and how to bring your skin and kind of buff all of the bronzers and blushes and everything that you've put on to really kind of buff it and bring it all in and make it look more seamless. So if you haven't seen that video, highly recommend it. We're gonna move on to lips. And of course, I gotta use the lip liner that she created with Christian Audet. This is in the shade Smooches, and she affectionately named it after Kelsey, which goes to show you how much Mel loved and appreciated her friends. She loved her friends. So I'm gonna put this on. Trick with Christian Audet's lip liners is they are budge proof. Like these are waterproof. So you have to go in and buff it out pretty quickly. You're gonna want to blend it out as you're applying it, meaning that I keep a blending brush, like this, kind of a stiff brush like this, in my hands so that as I'm putting it on, I buff it out, put it on, buff it out. Once you put it on, it'll last you all day. They are the best lip liners. They remind me of the Natasha Denona lip liners. They're that good, but there's a learning curve when it comes to using them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, and then I'm gonna blend it out. Now I have that on, I'm gonna go in with Beauty. And this is a gorgeous color. I think I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of Bare Nectar and like pair them together. Oh yes, that's what I love about Bare Nectar, is that it can give you just a tiny pop of something like color to the lip. Beauty and Bare Nectar are so good together. It kind of breaks my heart. So I pulled myself together. Let's move on to highlighter. One of her favorite highlighters is this one from Wayne Goss in the Coral Rose palette. The blush and the highlighter are both really beautiful. So I'm gonna pick up this highlighter right here and just put it like right there. It is a beautiful highlighter, it is. She always likes to put a little bit of there on the nose, which I do too. I mean, come on, who doesn't love to put highlighter on their nose? It's so fun. This blush would be really pretty too. Do I need more blush? Abso-flippin-lutely not. But am I gonna put it on? Yep, because I love it. She used to tease me about that all the time, how much I love blush. She'd always tease me and say, you're like the blush queen, you love blush. And I'm like, well, you're the powder queen, I'm the blush queen. And then I would laugh and I'd say, but I don't apply blush the way you're supposed to. You, on the other hand, you apply powder better than anyone I know. So it's like, there's the difference, kid. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am back. That full face was so fun, you guys. And in fact, I might have to keep giving this powder a try because I kind of like it. And I don't really want to, but I kind of like it. The packaging is hard, which I could get used to it, but my makeup looks flawless. It really does look flawless. Also, I have to mention, this is amazing. And I remember using it, but I just kind of pushed it to the side because, you guys, when I get comfortable with something, it's hard for me to switch. So I love my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder and I know how it is. I love it. It's easy. And so it's almost like you get kind of like in a rut where you're used to something and it's hard to switch. But this is a gorgeous powder palette. Like these powders are really soft in texture, and it does say that these powders are made in Italy. So good quality there. Mel was right. These are good. These are good. The other thing that I want to mention is that mixing Beauty and Bare Nectar was a match made in heaven. I had to go off camera because it made me cry, because that was the one thing that I wanted so bad, is for Mel to be here during that collaboration. It gets me going every time, so I gotta stop talking about that. But I really loved how these two work together. I love the eye look. I think it's beautiful. And Mel's palette is always a really good palette to pull out when, especially if you're wanting a good matte or some good shimmers. Like this is a ride or die palette. Okay, so that's it for the full face of Mel's favorites. Comment down below and share what makeup product you fell in love with because of Mel. Like, what is your favorite makeup item that you have? And Mel was the one that encouraged you to get it. I'm so curious. I cannot wait to see what you guys write, because she always had such amazing tips and she was on YouTube for so long. Can't wait to hear what you guys write. But that's it for this video. Let's celebrate Mel. Let's try to not to be sad, and let's celebrate her, because I know that she's in heaven looking down and wants us to be happy for her. Don't forget to head over to Jena's channel and watch her full face of Mel's favorites. I cannot wait to watch that video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.